I'll tell you one other thing about Man United's takeover as well, and I'm going to make this claim now. If Man United do get taken over by the Qataris, Man United will sign Kylian Mbappe. 110%. We will get, what is it Daniel Sturridge calls him? Killy. He will come to Manchester United. We will pay the money. We will be able to afford the wages. Just what we pay in interest payments per year can afford to pay for 2 Mbappe's wages. Like, I don't think people realize how much money. This is why when people say, "Oh, the Glazers still spent money," they did, but they cost us £2 billion. What they were taking in dividends and interest payments per year can afford two Mbappe level players in terms of salary. Now, of course, the club's got to be run right. The structure's got to be correct. The discipline's got to be there. The manager's got to have control of that dressing room. These things are key. And I don't want an Mbappe. I don't want an Mbappe if he's not here for the right reasons. That's me personally. But the idea that Man United will be able to go out this summer and say, listen, Jude, Mbappe, Harry Kane, you three are all coming to Manchester United. We're buying you all now. There's the wages. There's the 2, 3, 4, 500 grand a week that players of your ilk can kind of warrant. United can do this, and I'm excited. I'm legitimately excited about what's to come, and I don't care. This is why I've never slagged any other club off for having these kind of owners either, because I was always going to be shameless and happy if it came in. But Mbappe to Man United, how would you feel about that one, Jay?
Well, where's Rashford going? Because they play the exact same position. So
one left, one right. Rashford on the right, Mbappe left.
Rashford's not good on the right. That's not happening.
Rashford plays on the left, or maybe Rashford goes central.
By the way,
Mbappe started the majority of games this season central, to be fair.
He doesn't like playing central.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
I get it. I get it. I get what you're trying to say. I doubt it.
Who doesn't?
I doubt it. I doubt it'll happen.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't like playing central? Who doesn't like playing central?
Mbappe.
He plays all the time.
Yeah, you can play somewhere that you don't like to play. Like, come on, like
I watch French football. He loves it. He loves it.
Well, I will give you $1,000 if Mbappe plays for Manchester United.
You'll give me £1,000 if Man United sign Mbappe.
Yeah, because you guys aren't signing him. You guys already have Rashford. Be for real. That's the type of squad building that you guys would like because you have all these players. But like for me, that's just like, what? Hello, what are you guys doing? But
so you think if Man United sign Mbappe, it would be a bad signing?
I don't think it'd be a bad signing, but I think it calls into question all this. Rashford is just as good as Mbappe nonsense. You have the best left wing in Europe, don't you? So why'd you bring in Mbappe? Why do you need him?
We do right now, but we all know that Mbappe is better than Rashford.
Oh, well, that's not what I've been told over the last couple of weeks.
Again, you follow United fans that don't have names or faces.
No, you said that. You said that yesterday.
On form, he's better than him right now, but I've never said he's better than him overall, did I?
Okay, so in your mind, Manchester United are going to buy Harry Kane, Mbappe, and who else?
Jude Bellingham.
Okay.
But what I said is I use those players as an example.
No, you said they would come and that's what's happening.
No, I didn't say that is happening. I said that's what we can go out and do. Man United would have the ability. No, I'm not backtracking. I'm making a point here that we would have the money to sign 3 players of that level in one summer because we could afford to now. As much as we used to spend.
Oh, that's not what it sounded like. It sounded like you said, if we get Qatari owners, Mbappe will play for Manchester United. That's what I heard.
I think Mbappe may. I think Mbappe may play for Man United.
Okay, definitely. So the bet is on £1,000.
Okay. You can, yeah, if he plays for us, you'll pay us £1,000. Fair enough.
I'm probably going to have that £1,000 in my bank account for a long time. It's not.
Cool. Let's just see. Let's just see. Like, I think it's there. When I gave out, yeah, I did say Mbappe could join Man United. I did. But when I threw the other names in there, I was purely talking about United suddenly having the money and the ability to bring in those types of players. United have always had the funds to sign players at that level in terms of the transfer fees, but it's been the wages that we've struggled with. Equally, though, what I really want and what the most important thing is to ensure the structure of the club is still where it is. But in terms of saying Rashford is better than Mbappe, I haven't said that. What I've stated is that on form right now, Rashford is the best attacker in the world. Have I not? Jay, have I not said that? Have I said that, Jay?
You just were saying some things yesterday or the day before about, like, you know.
So
He ain't
what
no
did I,
Rashford.
so what did I say? What were my actual words about Marcus Rashford?
That he's the best in on form and all that kind of stuff. But you did say
Right.
that Mbappe will play for Manchester United if the Qataris.
Yeah, I think I said there's a really good chance. I
Okay.
think he could play for us. I
And
said
we
I
know
think
it, but we know what the bet is.
well, I guess fine, but there's two different conversations going on here. We've ended one. I have definitely said that I think with Qatari owners we could sign Mbappe. You
Okay.
said, why do you need him with Rashford? And I'm trying to ascertain who has said to you that Rashford is better overall than Mbappe.
Well, you insinuated that like Mbappe could never,
Could never
I get
what?
that, but that's not exactly what you said. So, okay, you didn't say it,
Right, I'm
but
just
there are Manchester United fans that consistently come for Mbappe whenever Rashford is on form, and we all know this. So,
yeah, again, but what United fans? What are their names? Who are they?
I
Are they
don't need
showing,
to know their names.
are they
It's
showing
just like
their face on camera?
you guys go Arsenal fans like in totality, and then it's like Patrick Timmins or somebody like that. Like, come on.
Yeah, well, that's just the thing is that I ask you if you agree. I'll say, oh, Patrick Timmins said this. Do you agree with it? I'm not saying you said it as well, but I never said that about Mbappe. There we go. What do you mean I lied, Terry? You said Mbappe will play for Man United. I think he may. I very much think he may play for Manchester United if the Qatari owners come in. We have some super chats here. First one says, I'll go to the Arsenal stuff when we're talking Arsenal. There's no point bringing it up now as we end up switching between subjects. Like a famous man once said, you're in cuckoo land. But make me understand why it's. People try and make me understand why, with new billionaire owners and no debt, Man United couldn't sign Mbappe. If you can tell me why we can't, not that you think we won't, but why it's impossible. Remember, every time we've been linked to a big player in the last 10 years, everyone said, no chance they'll sign for you. Why with no debt, brilliant manager, club moving forward, new owners. Why is it impossible that Mbappe signs Blaze? I'd love to know your thoughts and your feelings on that. Honesty here says, imagine Newcastle wins the Premier League on a miracle. On a miracle man like Almiron winning the Premier League would be funny. Already more titles than Kane. Newcastle won't winning it this year, but if they win it before Tottenham, it is kind of funny. It really, really is. It really, really is. So I'm just going to start some of these. There's a lot of Arsenal super chats that I know you've already put them in. We'll come back to them later in the show when we move on to Arsenal. But again, Baths, he won't go there. That isn't an answer, G. I want to know why. I want the rationale. Remember in life, this is a life lesson for everybody. The what is not important in life. What you think, what you do, no one cares about. How you do it is a little more interesting. Why? The why is the focus here. So why would Mbappe not come to Man United? Because that's where we ascertain from people whether you are just saying no, he won't because you're bitter, or whether there's a genuine reason as to why you don't think it will happen. So you need to explain the why behind what you think. If you can't, I won't take it too seriously because for me, it's just you saying no chance, but you're just throwing that out there because you're worried about it happening. FFP, Terry. Man United won't have FFP problems with the new owners. It's just not going to be a problem. Man United, like I just said, 150 million pounds a year goes on interest and dividends. Mbappe's not going to. What is that per week if we divided that by weeks and salary wise, right? So suddenly we're going to have no debt and we're going to have 150 million pound a year extra in our bank accounts because there's no debt and no dividends. That's 2.8 million pound a week. Mbappe's good. Even if you paid Mbappe £1 million a week, we're still making profits. You have to understand how rich Man United are without the Glazers. Come on now, my friends. Come on now. Make sure like buttons are being smashed and that you are subscribing to the Football Terrace. Winnerpool here says, Terry, there are better teams and projects in England, not Europa League regular clubs. Yeah, but Man United will be a Champions League team next year. So, yeah, I don't think that will be a problem. Why do you think Mbappe will come to United? Terry, what's your rationale? I think that Man United are one of the biggest and most attractive clubs in the world. But I think having solid owners, no debt, a great project, a board that would be put together that said win, and of course having the financial ability, unlike a lot of our European counterparts who are desperate for the Super League because they have no money to be able to pay for the world's best talent to come here. And we won't be the only club. The Premier League clubs are all going to be doing that. So I think you add all those things together, the football, the money. Let's not kid ourselves. Footballers are attracted to money. the football project, the financial side of things, and being Manchester United back in the Champions League, of course, that's going to be attractive to Mbappe. Real Madrid are definitely leading the way, but I think the owners, who, by the way, he knows already, he has a great relationship with the Qataris, that could play a massive factor in it as well. I think there's a genuine chance that United could go out and sign him, personally. Blue Viper here says, United fans, without a doubt, the most delusional fan base in the world. Fair enough. Fair enough. It's not like when City got their takeover. I remember you guys celebrating outside the ground because you knew what was going to come. Why are United fans deluded for thinking the same thing? Terry, how would Rashford and Mbappe coexist in the same team as both play their best football on the left? Well, we'll see. My view is this: Rashford's amazing, but if you can bring in Mbappe and Mbappe outplays him and outscores him and outperforms him, if Man United are winning, I don't care. I don't believe in this. If you sign Joe Bloggs, it will stop. It will block the progression of this player or that player. You sign the best players you can, as long as they've got the right football ability and the right attitude and ethos, and they're not going to mess your dressing room up. There's never a reason to not sign the best players in the world. Simple and straightforward as that. So, yeah, I don't care. Someone, what about Garnacho's development? Don't care about Garnacho's development.
Unless you have a almost world-class player playing in that position already. But
maybe. Well, what about Garnacho? Listen, if Garnacho is going to be good enough, if Mbappe is an opportunity to be signed, you sign him because he's better than Garnacho. That's it. And then Garnacho then has to work out a way of getting into this team. If there's a chance to sign Mbappe, you sign him. You don't just go, listen, we won't sign the best player in the world because Garnacho might become the best player in the world. No one would do that. It's like Arsenal. Oh, by the way, you can have the best midfielder in the world, or you can keep developing Patino. You're going to go and buy the best guy in the world. That's what you're going to go and do.
That's not what we're talking about, though. We're not talking about blocking a young kid's progression. We're talking about
that super chat. Sorry, was about Garnacho.
I know, but I'm saying that what we're talking about is like, I said that if you have like a world-class player, like people think Rashford is world-class or about to be an elite level player, you're not going to bring in Mbappe. You're just not. Like if you have that player already in that position, even if you think they can exist within the same squad, they both are left wingers. Like I just don't see it. Now, Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham, that's different, but Mbappe and Rashford just seems like an overload, but that's just me.
I understand I do understand where you're coming from. I do understand where you're coming from, but I think it's something that Man United will look at. I think it's something the Qataris will look at. His mind is still on Real Madrid is where he wants to go. That's where he's wanted to be. But United getting taken over by them could massively change it. In terms of Mbappe's career, though, just looking at his entire career, international, Monaco and PSG, 60 games played at left wing, 60 games played at right wing, 185 games starting as a centre forward. So the majority of his career has been a centre forward as opposed to on the wings. Let's have a look at some more of these super chats here.
Okay.
I'm just reading out the facts about where he plays.
But I didn't say he doesn't play central. Like that's not what I said.
I didn't say you did. I'm relax your brain. Reading.
My brain is relaxed. It's just you're reading out something that doesn't really change the fact that like if he came in, he'd be a left winger. That is the position that he plays, even though he plays centrally sometimes. Like, where does he play for France?
But he doesn't play centrally sometimes. The vast majority, nearly 200 of his games.
Okay, the vast majority. But in the chat, is Mbappe a center forward or is he a left winger in your eyes? That's what I want to know. Because I feel like he is a left winger. Plays off the left. Doesn't like to play central. And I feel like that's documented.
I'd love to. What I'd love to see, and I'm not even doubting you here. I'd love to see where he said he doesn't like to play central. I've never personally read that, but I'd like to see. I know he drifts to the left-hand side, but I'm sure our manager has got the tactical ability to work it out if we were to bring him in. Let's have a look at this super chat. Mbappe could go to Real Madrid, but hang up his image rights for a deal. But if he goes to United, Lord have mercy, the league will be even better. Not going to lie. It would be a great signing for Man United, but United will be able to do a lot of business. You know, as I say, Jude Bellingham's become a genuine possibility purely from a financial standpoint, and equally with new owners, no debt. I don't think it'll be a massive overhaul on the board. I think there'll be some additions made. I think a world-class footballing director will come in, someone like a Paul Mitchell, somebody like a Martin Edwards, somebody of that kind of level would come in as well, I think, to help orchestrate. But listen, it's exciting times ahead for Man United, no doubt about that whatsoever. Terry, Qatar are not buying Man United, let's be honest. The Premier League and FA will never allow the crown jewel of England to be purchased by human rights abusers from the Middle East. Abdul, it's not. They just have no way of stopping it. They're just, there's no grounds to stop Qatar buying Manchester United, and people can moan about it all they want and cry about it all they want. But I saw a guy actually yesterday moaning about it, saying that it was wrong and it was the place, money comes from an evil place. So I went through his social media profile. Him and his girlfriend about a month ago went out for dinner at the Shard. So I politely DM'd him and just reminded him that Qatar own the Shard as well in London. So him and his missus are having like great selfies in the Shard. What paid for that, you mug? Yeah, it's very, either way, it might not be Qatar. United are getting new owners anyway. We're going to move on in a minute. This here says, ha ha ha, United fans actually think Mbappe is going to come to Old Trafford. It's hilarious. He's going Real Madrid, Terry. That's his dream club. Listen, and I think it is his dream club. And I think that Real Madrid, if you were asking me now where he's most likely to go, I would say Real Madrid. But United get Qatari owners. There's a genuine chance that he could come to Man United. If the right money's offered to him, the right project is offered to him, then it could definitely happen. I think saying that there's no chance that Man United could sign players of Mbappe's level with new owners is a madness. Biggest club in the country, one of the biggest clubs in the world. It's good times ahead for United, whatever happens. What if the owners sign Messi for a year? Listen, Messi for a year? Again, I wouldn't cry about it. Personally, I wouldn't cry about it. Messi for a year. I don't know if they will. Messi looked great at the World Cup. I think Messi needs runners and legs around him. I've said that a while. United have got legs, they've got runners around him. He could do bits. I'd like a bit more future planning than Messi at 35. But would I cry about it? Probably not. Probably not. And I get, obviously, rivals are very angry at the idea of these things happening, but it's not my fault. It's not my fault.